No, I've got a quote here that you said in the other podcast, and it's getting shot released my potential.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like, yeah, I mean, it 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 was there. Some people go the other way, and they get bitter and they get angry and they they get isolated. But that's also that circle of support. So I'm not saying that that's not, saying anything about that, because people can handle things differently. But they also might not have had supports. They may have had no family, no friends, no nothing. So that's the other thing. You got a good support system. That's a big factor. But it seems like whatever was within just got intense. Like it just got released more. Like it was like the volume was on 20 and then someone came and cranked it past like busting your eardrum, you know? So, and that's kind of what it was like. And it did the opposite, you know? Like if you saw me, then you would see like light and electricity around me from afterwards or something, to try to explain like the intensifying of it. Um, and then,
It's unbelievable. Well, you know what? One of the things that's kind of, because you haven't mentioned it yet, but one of the things that kind of, really when I trying to put myself in your position and really thinking about, how does that feel? One of the things that you haven't mentioned is that you don't know who did it, and
no,
the frustration that must have been around that situation, and the police kind of didn't investigate it, did they? They kind of just brushed the whole thing to the side, which was, that must have been so frustrating. I mean, I have no how. I mean, how did you deal with that?
they blamed it on the culture of music. They said that's what come with the territory. Want to do hip hop music? You want to do that? That's what comes with the territory. I think what they were saying is you want to be around and have friends with people that are not just like look like you. I think that it was definitely, and I've had other friends say that, oh, you know what no, well, this is what they were saying. I was like, yeah, that's what I figured they were saying, but you know, yeah, it was kind of like that. That was the more frustrating thing, When I was in rehab, I I gave forgiveness to whoever did it, so that's done. So
That's
forgiveness was given.
amazing.
And when I say forgiveness, that means it's done. Like people say, well, what if aren't you going to go out? I'm like, it's done. Like when that cord was cut, I had an anchor. Then the cord was cut and my ship sailed. And that's it. Like they've never been able, that situation has never been able to hold me back, or that person or people, with anything. And I've said it before, if I ever was face to face with them, I would just, one, you hope that they don't do it to anybody else. I guess that's the main thing. You don't want them to do anybody else. Okay, but say they, we know that. And then I would just be, either it's time for me to know why they did it, or it's not. All I'm going to do is just tell them, this is what I've done since.